So we always draw the picture with this because it helps with you understanding what's going on. Usually during the exam, I only agree to help people who have drawn the picture. So if when you're trying to do these problems on your own, it's not working, draw the picture, okay? It will help a lot. So we're going to make some assumptions for a bunch of these problems in a row. That the mean, or either way, is equal to 100, and the standard deviation is 16. This is standard IQ score that people come across a lot. They do if they're in the field of education, in the field of educational psych, child development in any way, or sometimes parents will run across their kids' IQs. Okay. So the test gets re-engineered every so often so that in case the intelligence of the population actually is shifting, the test is constantly standardized so that its mean is 100. So the test is rewritten every 10 years or so that its mean is 100. It's called standardizing. It's problematic. I mean, if we find out later that for the last 50 years, they've been slowly moving a score of 100 down in intelligence, that means we're getting dumber as a population. It would be useful to know that. But but because they're using it as a standardizing test, that's not the information that we, the public, get. We could probe for it though. College Board has it somewhere in its files, and I have a sister-in-law who used to work there, so we could find out like that. But that's not how you receive the information normally. Okay, so let's say we have the question of what percentage of people have an IQ below 80. So to work that problem, we do this. This is percentage of people. This is IQ score. You don't have to keep writing this in all the time, but I just wanted to make sure you saw what we're doing here. And this is the mean, which is 100. An IQ of 80 is below 100. For your picture, it does not matter how far below 100 you draw it. You just have to put it on the right side of the mean, correct side of the mean. So here is an IQ of 80. You want to know what percentage of people have an IQ less than 80. So we're not finished with the picture yet. We need to figure out what we need to know. And the question is asking this. The question is asking this: what percentage of people have an IQ below 80? So that's a percentage of people because it's frequency below a certain score. Frequency below a certain score is written in percentages or percentiles, either way. So we know that what we need is that area. Who's got a question? Other than why did you shrink your screen? Who has a question? Stop me now. Everybody can see that that's what we need to know. So you understand you understand how to look at that graph, is what we're saying here. All right, how do we get to that picture there to the answer to the question? From there to there is what we're going to do next. Now that we know what we need area under the curve. How do we get area under the curve? Well, we get that by knowing a z-score, and then using the z-score with the table to find out the size of that area. We're going to do a lot of these, so don't worry if this doesn't make sense yet. So the first thing we have to do is find out what the z-score is for an 80. Because once we know that z-score, we can take it to that normal curve table with all those numbers, find the right column, and get the size of that area, which is the frequency of people. Okay, so z is equal to a score minus the mean. Get that and divide it by the standard deviation. What do you get?
Negative 1.25.
Yeah. Anybody else? Wave if you got negative 1.25. Nobody's waving. Thank God. Thank you, Isaac. Sam, did you get that? You're working on it. Okay. It's the correct answer. Okay, so now we know Z. Now, go to your table. You guys should have a copy of this sitting on your desktops or someplace easy to get to it. I finally found my paper version, so I don't have to keep switching back and forth between files. And find the z-score. It's a symmetrical curve, so it doesn't matter whether it's positive or negative in terms of finding z. So find z of 1.25. And I'm not going on until everybody assures me that they can do this part, including all you people who I just see your initials and names. Grace, tell me when you found 1.25 and try to find a way to... Doctor's office follow-up. I gotta go take this. Sorry, you guys. Hold on, please. I'm gonna get out of this meeting for a minute. Thanks for your patience. That'll be the last one. I'm turning this to silent. It's the only time that they could give me calls was during this class. Grace, can you tell me that you found Z in the table?
Kind of, I think so.
That's a great answer. That gives me something to work with. Anybody else in the kinda I think so range? Elijah, Aliana, I can't see your faces. Did you
Can you go back to the shared screen?
Yeah, I'm about to.
Thank you.
Yep. Should be there now. Ayana, do you have the table that you can find Z in?
I
Can't understand what you just said.
said I have it on my phone. I don't have it printed.
Oh, but you can get to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you find where Z is 1.25? That's a lot of scrolling. You guys might want to print these out, although right now printing, for those of you who use the library to print, is still being worked on. Yeah, Joe, right? I know we got an email last night from IT saying they were coming up with a method. They hadn't realized how much they were going to need to do that, so they're working on it. I personally can't stand working with a computer copy of this table. So for now, I'm going to just assume, Elijah, can you find a copy of it?
I also have it on my phone.
Okay.
But
Okay, so here's how the table works. It's really just a 3-column table that's about as tall as a room. But in order to make it fit into a textbook, it was set up to double. So the 3 left columns and the 3 right columns are exactly the same. And the far left column in each of those sets is Z. So that's where you find Z scores. The next column is, I will draw for you. For any one Z score there, for any Z score, that next column is telling you the area between Z and the score. So if it's brown here, from any Z score, above the mean or below the mean. So positive 1.25 or negative 1.25, it doesn't matter because it's a symmetrical curve. The area between mean and that score is in that second column. And the picture at the top shows that. It only shows it for 1/2, but it shows it. And then for any Z score, the area beyond Z, the area between Z and infinity, or negative infinity, is what I'm putting in green. That's what we mean by the area beyond Z, away from the mean. So it's either above the score or below the score. So in this case, above 1.25 or below negative 1.25. Okay. So now I'm going back to the problem that we were working on, which is this problem up here in yellow. Going back to this picture, we know Z. We computed Z and we got for Z negative 1.25. So since it's symmetrical, we don't have to worry about negative or positive. We can find 1.25. And then we can find the area between the mean and Z, 0.394, et cetera. Can you see that? And we can find the area beyond Z, toward infinity, either that or positive or negative infinity, 0.10564. Okay, so how do we know what number to use here? We know that one of these numbers is the answer to the question because we drew the picture and I put in the big arrow thing. That area there is what we need to know. We have a z-score, it's 80, it goes right there. And we need to know the area down here beyond z, away from the mean, which is column C. I like to think of them as A, B, and C. This is the area beyond z. Okay, the mean's 100, the standard deviation 16, the score in question x is 80. We use the z formula to get a score of 80, turns into a negative 1.25 z. We find negative 1.25 z, and we look in column C, the area beyond z, which accounts for this yellow area down here. And we find that that is in percent, because you have to multiply it times 100, you get 10.56%. That's the percentage of people who have an IQ below 80. That's the answer to the question. Somehow or another, my pencil did not charge. So I'm going to give it a direct charge on my iPad while I try to do some of this without the Apple Pencil. Haha. It doesn't take long to charge. I have a bad charger, I think. This is the second time in 2 weeks. Okay, so what we've done in this case is to go through Z to get the answer. That's what I mean by going through Z. There are times when we want to know what percentage of people are someplace. There are times when we want to know, we have a percentage of people. I could have asked this another way. I could have asked it, what IQ score separates the bottom 10.5% from the top 89.5%? What's the IQ score that sets off the bottom 10.5% of people? The answer to that would be, first, we know that we want column C to be 10.5%. So we go down till we find that. Then we get its z-score. Then we turn z into the score using the other formula. I'm sorry, I can't draw it right this second. The score equals x equals z times the standard deviation. Get that and add it to the mean. Same problem, going in reverse. Sometimes we know scores and we want to turn them into how many people. Sometimes we know how many people and we want to turn them into scores. And we could do that by asking how many people scored above, how many people scored below, how many people scored between, or what two scores exclude the outermost X%, that kind of stuff. That's what all these questions come down to, is that sort of thing. I want to talk to you about a concept right now that fits with what we just did, and that's the concept percentile rank. We're going to go through more z-scores, but I'm going to focus on percentile rank every so often with it. It's part of it. Percentile rank refers to the percentage of people who scored below any particular score. It's another way to ask the question I just asked you, which is, what percentage of people have an IQ below 80? Another way to ask the question is, what is the percentile rank of an IQ of 80? Same question. And when you talk about percentile ranks, you leave the decimal in. So you say the percentile rank of an IQ of 80 is 0.1056. Just grab it off the table. Or if you want to round it, give it 0.11. So percentile rank just refers to the percentage of scores below a certain score, the percentage of people who scored below a certain score, like 80. Let me see if I can grab the charge rate, charging. We're getting there. What happened to my app? Here we go. All right, are there any questions about this? Because this is usually the most complicated thing in the whole semester to people. So your silence is a little scary. Okay, while my pencil is charging, we're gonna do one more thing that I was gonna do at the end of the class today, but we're gonna do it now instead. Who is working with a TI type? Who's got their calculator? Just one by one, tell me. Elijah, you got a calculator with you?
Not a TI, but I have a calculator.
What is it? Is it in your hand?
No.
Can you get to it?
Yeah.
Get to it, I'll come back to you. Everybody get your calculators. You're gonna want them. Grace, you have one? Grace might be looking at this as a recording.
Yeah, I have a calculator.
Grace, do you have it with you right now?
Yes.
What is it? What's it say, Grace? What is it?
I don't know.
Can you show it to us?
I don't really know how to use this calculator.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. Show me the calculator or tell me what the letters are on the top of it.
It's for the calculator. It's TI-80. This one.
It's TI-80 or TI-80 something?
TI-84.
84, gotcha, okay. Eliana, what you got?
Right now, I just have one of the basic ones from the bookstore, but I do have the TI-84 one at home.
What's the basic one from the bookstore? What is it?
What do you mean? Like, what are the numbers on it?
Yeah, Joe's shaking his head about it, so he already knows it's not a good answer. Joe, is that what you have? All right, somebody show it to me. Put it up on the screen. You guys, it's a math class. Get your damn calculators. Sam, you got one? Please say yes.
Yeah, I have the TI-84.
Okay, so that's two of them. Isaac, what's yours? I can't see it. It's too dark.
TI-84.
Okay. Jack, what's yours? You're muted.
I have a TI-84 app on my phone.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Heather,
The TI-84.
Joe, calling Joe. What kind of calculator you got?
I have the bookstore one, but I can just get the TI-84 on my phone then, because just everyone else is going to use it.
Okay, but show me the bookstore one or tell me what it says. I need to see this bookstore one.
Okay, hold on one second.
Okay.
I have the TI-30XS.
Thanks, Elijah. You are going to have to probably use YouTube on your own for that one, but let's see. 30X. Okay, so Joe's got the same one. I think you guys maybe don't need to get the 80 something. We're going to find out. Eliana, what's yours? Bookstore, right?
Yeah, so I have the same one as Joe.
And Elijah. Okay, so there's a cluster of 3, and then it sounds like everybody else has some version of an 84, either on your phone or in your hand. Well, on your phone in your hand or the calculator in your hand. Okay. We're going to break into 2 breakout groups. If I can figure out how to accomplish that, that's what's going to happen. And you're going to go to either the 84 or the 30X. Create breakout groups. Assign 8 participants into 2 groups. I'm going to do automatically. No, I have to do, it won't let me create uneven amounts of people, really? Fine. Manually create breakout rooms. Now I have to assign people to the 84. I'm sorry, this is taking a long time, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to save you a lot of trouble the rest of the term. So who's going into the 84? We got Heather, Isaac, Sam, and Shaq. I think that's good. And then I have Aliana, Elijah, Grace, I can't remember what yours is, and Joe. Grace, are you an 84 or are you a,
I'm an 84.
okay, hold on then. All right, I think I got you guys in the room that matches your calculators. Go to the room if you know how to do it. I don't, so I'll see you there in a minute if I can figure it out. Oh, it says they're not started. How do you start them? You open all rooms. I've done it. You've been invited. Be gone. Joe, look up and change. Go to a room. It's just you and me left here. All right, you guys, do me a favor. Start out on Google asking the question, how to use stats mode TI-84, and I'll be back. I gotta go tell the 30s the same thing. I'll be back. Help each other. You're trying to figure out how to compute the mean and the standard deviation. That's your job with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, first thing to do, clear all data off of that thing from like 10th grade. Get all your lists off of it. Tell each other how to do that part. I'll be back.
Fridays at 5, usually.
Are you doing it through like Zoom now?
Yeah, we were doing one-on-ones in person, but it's virtual now, so.
Okay. Might have to join that.
What are you doing, Elijah?
So like I'm not really good at math, and when I
Yeah.
picked up this class, I was like worried about it because I
Yeah.
didn't do too hot in college algebra.
Yep.
So I got a tutor through Jamie Panos. So every Friday, Farah Fiacco and I do a virtual meeting, and we go over the notes that I take in class.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Yeah, usually when I try to set up a regular tutor for this specific course, not just the stats in general, I get somebody who aced it from the semester or 2 before. And then I give them support to be the tutor, and they run sessions, with as many students as want to show up. But frankly, I didn't have any students last time who were strong enough. Also, I was very sick starting in March and was hospitalized for half of March and a week in April. So I wasn't really on top of picking a good tutor for this term. So I'm very glad to hear that you've got that support on, and if that works out, then I can coach her about this course in particular.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so you guys, I think your calculator is going to be okay. What we're trying to figure out is if it can be used in stats mode. So the first thing that we need to do is to start Googling stuff. So it's a TI-30X, and what we want to know is instructions for stats mode. So TI-30X. I just did the TI-30X statistics, and I think we're going to be good.
When I Googled it, it says it can do standard deviation and variance and combinations.
That's what we're looking for, standard deviation and variance. The 80-something is going to be much fancier. It's going to be able to do some advanced things, but what you really, really want it to do is standard deviation. Because what you want to be able to do is put in a list and have the list tell you the means and the standard deviations. And the reason for that is because there are formulas coming up, all of which, including this one, require the mean and the standard deviations. And if you had to compute all of those in addition to the actual statistical formula itself, you will lose your way in the forest. It's really easy to get overwhelmed and also like bored at the same time. So, so it looks like to me, I'm gonna post, I can do chat with you guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, I found it. It does a bunch of different ones, but I found a section for this one, so hang on while I set up a chat. For some reason, it doesn't want to paste. Let me try again. Really won't paste. All right, I'm going to walk you through what I've got. There's a second key, 2ND.
Mm-hmm.
You good? You got it?
Yeah.
You press the second key and then with it, data. And that selects stat. Well, then you select stat and then you hit enter. And that should put you into one var statistics. Who's lost? I'll do it again. You press second data to select stat, then press enter to select one var, which stands for one variable statistics.
And then is it supposed to say like list and then freak list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe, you good? Elijah, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, so then press data. Tell me what it says when you hit that key. Oh, it makes a nice fire beeping sound. Does it say anything when you hit data?
Mm,
Mine's not saying anything.
neither is mine.
Okay, let's see what happens. Put in the number 5 and then V in brackets and then V again. I'm going to ignore the frequency part. Whoever that is, you need a new battery in your fire alarm. I don't know how you stand it all night.
It said 5 and then what?
V. I think the V might be in brackets. You can also use the arrow keys to go up and down, left, right, by the way. So then once you've got 5 in there, V, then try 4V and see if it adds to the list or if it changes frequency. Without having one of these in front of me, I'm not sure what it looks like, so. So you're basically trying to enter the numbers 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in that order. And if you get all of them in there, then you're going to hit the key stat var. And stat var is going to give you some numbers. Who's with me? Nobody's with me. Elijah, are you getting it? Are you on your way?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Eliana?
I'm typing in the numbers now.
Okay. How about you, Joe? Okay.
So once, okay, yeah, so I got it. So I typed in the numbers and then I did the one var stats says like
Stat var. So if you hit stat var, then it should give you,
the max, the median,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
okay,
So
yeah.
N should be 5.
Yep.
You should be able to get the mean, which is X with a bar over it.
It says 3 for that.
And that's right, because if you add them all up and divide by 5, you get 3. And then the standard deviation, SX.
1.581.
Bob's your uncle, you got it. Those are the answers, so you never have to use the standard deviation formula.
Oh, okay.
So, Aliana, do me a favor, go back to that first quiz.
And redo that.
Redo it using that method and see what you get for SX, because the way that you did it is a common way to do it, but it gets a slightly different answer from what the way that we're doing it in the class.
Okay.
So I didn't take any points off for that.
All right.
But I did just want to tell you this. All right, so now you guys help Joe in case he didn't get it. Joe, did you get it? Well, this is good. Okay, so I'm going to the other group. You can either go back to the main room or go to the group. Let me see what's going on with them. We'll all be together again eventually. Goodbye. I was muted. It automatically mutes me when I go to a breakout room. What I said was, hello 84s. If you're possibly willing to show your face, that'd be great. Thank you, Heather and Isaac. If you can't, that's okay. But it helps me figure out what you're figuring out. Has anybody started working on how to enter data like stats mode yet? Sam knows how. Good. Sam, you can help Isaac. and the rest of us here will muddle through. Basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to use the calculator to put yourself into statistics mode and then enter data while you're in statistics mode to get answers to things like what does the mean, what is the standard deviation? And eventually it's going to give you way, way, way more than that. Hey, kid who's in there with Heather, shh, mommy's working, shh. He can't see the screen, but that was still fun. Okay, I don't have a TI-84 in front of me and I don't have the instructions in front of me, but you get choices up at the top for mode. Pick stats. And from there, you might get choices of stats. So in that case, pick one variable stats. And tell me if I've got it right. I'm trying to remember it from last year. How am I doing so far, Heather?
You wanted us to just go into stat mode, right?
That mode. Just that mode, and make sure you're going to be working with an empty list. Oh, wait. I am so very sorry. You're on an 84, you guys. You have to first enter a list of numbers. So find an empty list. Hopefully it's list 1 or A, and put in the numbers 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In that order. Once each. If you have a choice for frequency, it's just once each. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've never had to teach this online before, and it's interesting. You good, Grace? You look like you got it. Isaac, is Sam sitting there and working, or is he like gone? Yeah. Does he get it? Sam, you get it?
I'm not sure. We're in
Wait,
different.
sorry, I just
Oh,
went
right.
to the bathroom. Yeah, we were in the quarantine, so
I forgot. All right.
We're split up.
separated.
We're it's a tough time without each other.
You can do it. There's somebody in my
Only times a
social
day.
class who's in the same exact situation. And they have been roommates for a long time, and they're like, ah. So, Sam, did you get it? Did you put it into a list?
Yeah, I did. And then you just go to variable, like var stats. I'm not sure what that means, but and then it gives you the whole like drop down of the mean, median,
So
high.
the mean is spot 3,
Yeah, mean's 3, median is also 3.
and is 5. S. You're looking for S.
What,
And then
sorry, what were the numbers again? Sorry to interrupt.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best question of the day.
I don't have. Oh, yes, I do. SX.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
standard deviation.
Okay, yeah, I do have the standard deviation. I have 1.58.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you have SX minus 1? Or
Doesn't look like it. I don't think so.
okay. All right. Who is not yet able to get to where Sam just said, where the result on your screen is the mean, the median, and the standard deviation and whatever else is there. Sometimes it even has like range and stuff. Heather, you know? So where are you right now in the process? You got the list in there? Heather, you got to unmute.
Yeah, I got a list in there.
Okay.
I don't know if mine is different because I have an 84 plus.
It'll be the same. It's just
It'll
different.
be the same.
The display is different. So
Did you guys have to go to math before you put a list in, or you just put the list in automatic first?
you just put the list in, and then the choices then are what you're going to do with the list. So can you choose stat, Eric? Stat?
Let me get my list again.
Then you want to choose mode from the top line usually. or you hit mode and it gives you a list to scroll through.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay.
Okay, so you're choosing one variable, stats or just stats, whichever choice you get.
Okay.
Okay, so from there, does it give you answers? Did the screen switch to the mean, the median, S, or no?
I don't know what the hell screen I'm in now.
Hang on.
It's been a really long time since I've taken math class.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's either, so I'm with you. I went back to school at the age of 30, having not had any math since 11th grade. So
I have my 20-year high school reunion this year, so it's
yeah, yeah, I feel you. I completely feel you. You're going to ace the class, I can tell. Sam, did you have to do anything after you put it into stats mode and you already had a list of numbers? What did you have to do then?
Hang on one second. I went to, all right, let me just start from the beginning here. I went to stats and then I did edit, put in a list, and then I arrowed over to calc, hit 1 for varied stats, arrowed all the way down to calculate, and then it should be like blinking. And then I hit enter on calculate, and it gives you the list of statistics.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, Sam.
Yep.
I was hitting second first. I don't know why I thought I had
Oh,
second.
because
You solved it for me. Thank you.
before that, you have to hit second. Like these folks who are on the 30X, they're all hitting second like crazy. All right, so who here now still can't get the answers from it? You're going to want them because going forward, I'm going to give you problems and I'm just going to assume that you can text your way through the standard deviation and not take the time to solve it during class with formulas that have standard deviation in it, like
Just
the one we're using today.
to go over and make sure I have all the right numbers. So the X bar, so like mean is 3,
Yep,
and then you're gonna have sum of x squared, all those
Yep.
numbers, and then SX that's gonna be standard deviation.
yeah, it should be 1.58.
Yeah, and then the next I don't know, it's like omega x. What's that?
What's its answer?
1.414.
Okay, you remember in the standard deviation formula, you might not, there's in
The
the
variance.
denominator, no, it's n minus 1.
Okay, that's the n minus 1.
So if you do it with the n minus 1, then you get that one that you're talking about. If you do it with n, then you get the 1.58.
Okay, so which one would you?
I prefer n minus 1,
Yeah.
but the 30x's don't seem to have that possibility. So I'm
Okay.
going to take either one.
Okay.
I'm going to compute the answer with both, and so that way, whichever one you say, I'll be able to say yes, you're correct.
Okay.
Jack, did you figure this out?
I know how to do it, but I need to like upgrade the app that I have to be able to do it. So I just gotta.
Okay. Try to make sure you've got it by the next class, okay?
Okay.
All right. How about you, Grace? Grace? Are you set up? Were you able to compute S, the mean, that stuff?
No, not really.
So were you able to get it into stats mode?
I think so.
Yeah, it's hard to figure this stuff out because you don't even know what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So, since I don't have one.
I had a few minutes ago, I had found like a YouTube video explaining it, so I think I was just gonna watch that because it
do that.
kind of would go more to
Yeah,
pictures.
do that, and then you can stop it and start it and replay it and do whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
Check if that one's not like doing it for you. There are tons of them. It's a really great way to learn how to use a calculator, actually. It's a great way to learn how to do a lot of things YouTube, but using a calculator is high on my list of things I hate to do that work well with YouTube. Okay, so I won't pressure you about that until the next class. All right, so let's get out of these breakout rooms and back to the main room again. I'm gonna break the rooms.
The app works, so
It does?
that's what I was on when she was asking the question. Like it.
It's
But I
banned.
do have to go home to actually get the Psych Stat one set of that.
Are you close at least?
An hour and a half, but it's not like super far.
Yeah.
You're muted, at least for me. I can't hear you.
I'm so sorry. I said, now you have a tool that you can use to find the mean and standard deviation if I give you a list of raw numbers, or if you find your own list given a problem, and not just somebody telling you what the mean and standard deviation is. However, for this class, I'm going to give you the mean and standard deviation, but needing to be able to do this is going to become much more constant as we go on. Let me just share my screen again. Screen sharing is not working. They are kicked in. Okay, we're back with this mess. So now, we're going to do some more problems. We're going to do some of those ones that are based on IQ. So what percentage of people have an IQ below 132? We did in the last class. I'm not going to do it again. Just look at the notes from Friday. What percentage of people have an IQ above 132? Draw the picture. I always draw in what I want to know. And how to find it. So what I want to know is what percentage of people have an IQ above 132. There's the 132, the mean's down at 100. What percentage of people above 132 is represented by that yellow mess? So how do I find the size of that area? How do I find the percentage of people? I'll give you a hint. It's the Z table. And in order to use the table, we need Z. We need one of the columns in the table to use the table. We're trying to find area C. We don't care about area B right now. So we're going to need to find Z to get to the answer, which is in column C. So Z is equal to the score minus the mean divided by the standard deviation, 132 minus 100 divided by 16. So I get Z is equal to 2. Yeah? Well, Z equals to 2 means you have to go look at your table until you find Z is 2. And at this point, I should be able to choose any one of you by name, and you should be able to give me that column area and answer the question. But let me just ask for volunteers because you're doing it from home and it's confusing. Who knows what percentage of the curve, what percentage of people have a score above a Z-score of 2?
I think
Heather,
it's
what'd you get?
2.28%.
Right, 0.02275. So 2.28%. Thanks for rounding. And that happens to be the answer to the question. What percentage of people have an IQ above 132? (2.28%), which sounds about right. Okay, the questions are going to get more complex. So with what percentage of people have an IQ? Now that we've done one like that, let's do another one just like it. What percentage of people have an IQ above 125? We're just repeating the same skill. I'm going to put it right next to it.
You said 1.25.
No, just 125, an IQ of 125. No point. All right, so we know that we need that shaded area over there to the right. Please ask now if you don't get why I draw this picture. If you don't get the picture, you don't understand why that area is shaded, etc. Heather, you get it, right? I was trying to figure out who wasn't muted. It was you. Okay, so we know that we need that yellow area, and we know X. In order to get that area, we have to get Z. So your son's hysterical. So,
Shit, I didn't realize I was unmuted. Sorry.
sorry. Z is equal to the score minus the mean over the standard deviation. (125 minus 100 over 16). (125 minus 100 over 16 is equal to 1.56. Questions? Why did I do this? Did this because I need to look in the table. How do you misplace a table when you, need to look in the table to find Z is 1.56. And then in order to find out this group, this percentage of people that are above the score, away from the mean, I need to use that third column, the area beyond Z. Again, I'm using that same column again.
5.94%.
Ding, ding, you got it right. So the answer is 5.94%. This area down here is 5.94%. So what percent of people have an IQ greater than 125? 5.94% do. Okay, this is enough torture. That's a very long class on Zoom. It's difficult, I think, for you guys to have a class this long. It's a lot better in classrooms, but we never anticipated this. So we're just gonna muddle through the best we can and make some classes longer and some classes shorter and try to chunk the information. That's it for now. In the next class, I'm just gonna do a few more of these and then I'm gonna leave you guys to working at them on your own. There's tons of practice sheets up on Canvas already. Friday is gonna be a come in and ask for help if you need it day. Then I will post the quiz on Friday after class time, and you will get it back to me before class time on Monday. And other than one that was in the wrong file format, the rest of you did fine. Try to get the clearest photo you can. Some of you are shooting from an angle that has a shadow on it. Just try to shoot from above or scan if you have a printer that scans. Or actually, I use my iPad as a scanner. It works great. Either way, we'll be fine though. Okay, so I will see you same time, same place on Wednesday. Stay safe out there, you guys, or in there, as the case may be.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, you guys.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, all of you.